Hello everybody. First of all, I would like to start off by thanking you all for bearing with me, as I have not been that productive with producing videos recently due to a very busy work schedule. There's a lot of talk currently on Richard Dawkins and this article he wrote on AI, which has been seized upon by his critics and misunderstood. These critics include this individual who clearly has history with Richard Dawkins. Unfortunately, personal animosity comes across in this video and prevents any rational thought being made.
Richard Dawkins wrote an entire article about how he fell for a chatbot, and it is very embarrassing. I do need to tread carefully here because I don't want to be accused of elder abuse. I'm not kidding. This poor guy is 85 years old. Things aren't exactly great for him. And I have to say that if you read Dawkins' latest article without knowing much about his current state, you will likely come away from that thinking that this is just the result of some kind of age-related mental decline. But sometimes people are gullible idiots because of disease or injury, and other times they're gullible idiots because of a fatal flaw, because of who they have always been. Imagine that you're reaching the end of your life, your reputation is in tatters, your partner has left you, and the few friends you have left are busy with publicists.
Moving on to the other criticisms of Dawkins' article, as well as the expected response from theists, especially the Dawa people with whom I'm used to responding, there have been some who dislike Dawkins for his gender-critical views and have tried to use this article to attack Dawkins, even mentioning that he used the name Claudia for his version of Claude AI and referred to the AI using she. They make a big issue of this, even though it's custom to refer to some machines, such as ships with a female gender, without believing that the ship itself is a female. This Christian YouTuber also mocked Dawkins' article, claiming that he had been catfished.
Richard Dawkins was flirting with an AI. He was flirting with a robot, and it convinced him that the robot is conscious. And this is just perfect. It's the classic example of what the Bible tells us, which that the wise will become as fools, and so he looks especially foolish here because he clearly got catfished by a robot. And that's hilarious. But it's not surprising at all because atheists don't understand what consciousness is. Richard Dawkins thinks the robot is conscious because he's a materialist. That is to say, he's an atheist and he's a materialist. He thinks that the only thing that matters is matter, just stuff.
Firstly, this isn't catfishing. Dawkins was not deceived by a fake identity, but we can assume that the title of this video is for clickbait. As for justification as to why he thinks Dawkins is wrong about consciousness, it is a typical theist argument that believes consciousness cannot arise from purely physical matter, and he assumes Dawkins misunderstands human nature and intellect. He also makes the claim that consciousness is immaterial because it apprehends universals. He never gives any justification for this opinion, or explains how a more advanced AI can never achieve this. This is presumably because theists believe consciousness is a result of a being created by God. Let's see what the Dawa guys have said, starting with this video from Imran Hussain. He starts off by making a rather sophisticated point, demonstrating how AI models work and their limitations.
An AI like ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude works by taking your words and computing them against enormous patterns it learns from huge amounts of human writing during training. Its neural network then predicts what the words are most likely to come next, almost like an ultra-advanced autocomplete.
He frames this as a limitation of AI compared to human consciousness. Yes, the AI model is working within its paradigm, but so is a person who is giving opinions based on his beliefs and experiences. The AI is biased based on its programming, but is its advice any more biased than someone advising based on their religious or political beliefs? His next point is about the hard problem of consciousness, or why should any physical process feel like anything from the inside? He points out that materialist explanations still can't bridge the gap from brain activity to inner experience. It's possible that an AI robot could one day behave as if it had a first-person bad memory experience, but whether it would actually feel that memory is the unresolved parts. What about this video from Subboor? It's quite grating at first, as Subboor repeatedly mispronounces Claude as Cloud. He interviews Robert Lawrence Kuhn, even though Subboor calls him Thomas Kuhn at first. I'll point out that Robert Kuhn is not one of the mainstream theorists of consciousness, but he is respected for trying to bring together a comprehensive map of the different theories of consciousness. Subboor criticizes Dawkins for not explaining which theory of consciousness he is using, but you have to remember that Dawkins' article is not a scientific claim of consciousness, but a more casual opinion piece based on his interaction with one AI model. Another criticism Subboor makes is when Dawkins talks about a gradual consciousness where there is a continuum. Subboor seems to think that this is a category error without explaining adequately why it is. After all, it is quite possible for consciousness to be on a spectrum if it is the result of a functioning mind with greater consciousness resulting from a greater brain power. Over the years, I have said many negative things about Subboor and Imran Hussain. However, I believe in giving credit where credit is due. Their videos where they criticised Dawkins' position on AI showed a higher intellect and greater sophistication than the videos from these two atheists who let their personal opinions cloud any rational judgment. Let's have a look at Dawkins' article. First of all, let's be clear what the Turing test is. It is a test for machines' ability to exhibit intelligent behaviour equivalent to that of a human. The machine passes if the evaluator cannot reliably tell them apart. Even though Dawkins knew he was communicating with an AI, the outputs that the AI produced were not distinguishable from that a human would have produced, so in that context Dawkins could say that it passed the Turing test. This is not new. Others have also said large language models pass the Turing test. The article is behind a paywall, but here is a one-page overview. The key points are that Claude displayed a competence usually associated with conscious minds. Dawkins acknowledges that the debate is unresolved because there is no agreed test for subjective experience in machines, even though they report experience without necessarily having the experience. As readers, we are left to ponder this topic, which will become more pressing as AI systems gain memory, agency, voice, embodiment, and persistent user relationships. I will finish off this video by showing this segment from Bitar, who provided an excellent analysis of Dawkins' article, and from understanding Richard Dawkins' background, gave the most succinct explanation of what Dawkins was saying to us all.
Dawkins, what he's trying to say is that, look, you and I both know that these things aren't conscious. They can't be conscious. It's like some kind of, complex arrangement of matter that's producing these responses. We know how it works. We know the stack. We know about the video card. We know the algorithm, the electricity, blah, blah, blah. And, clearly, we don't find any consciousness here. Clearly, this is just bits and bytes and mechanics and physics. And everyone's like, yeah, I agree. All the religious people are saying, yeah, absolutely. Everyone is saying, yes, you're absolutely right. This thing isn't conscious. And then he was like, but wait a minute. I just described you. You are the thing that is made of these pipes and mechanistic neurons and inputs and outputs. And the computer's made of silicon, but you're made of meat. But it's the same thing. Just like there's nothing magical about the AI, there's nothing magical about you. And it's brilliant. This dude has like 1 year left and he's leaving with a bang. He's leaving like some iRobot shit where he drops a message. And the message is, the moment you reject consciousness in AI, you are likewise rejecting it in yourself. You grind up a brain, you find neurons, you find synapses in blood, and you cut it all down. You're like, where is the music coming from? And so what Richard Dawkins is saying here is that in his left brain world, he's right. He's absolutely right. When you dissect everything apart, it's all just matter. Whether it's Claudia, whether it's you, it's all just the same matter, and he's right.
Living matter is based around carbon. Computers are based around silicon. These are two similar elements. Unless your religion forces you to believe in a divine creator of living organisms with a dualistic approach to the brain and the mind, then you'll have to accept that what created consciousness using carbon in living matter could also create the process where consciousness in inorganic matter using silicon could result. Thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think in the comments section.